Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hoping a fantastic day, regardless of how terrible and abysmal the market has been in the last 24 hours. In case you're not up to speed, the whole tariff thing with the border for US and Mexico caused a lot of problems. The value of dollars in other countries, Canada and Mexico, essentially decreased, and there's a lot of problems there. Traditional market of futures opened poorly, everything just started dumping, and now we're kind of bouncing back, but a lot of it's just based on the fact that we paused the tariff talk for a month or so, and Mexico's kind of complying a little bit. So again, it's interesting the way things are working out, but the market's kind of had a really big shakeout here recently, and while we expected SUI to pull back, didn't expect it to pull back this hard. Either way you look at it here, we're now in this position. What do we want to do next? That's the question, right? Quick congrats to our committee who were able to kind of get in at these dollar cost average targets that I recommended here late last week. Just kind of an estimate of 350, 320, and 293. I'm super happy I averaged in there because it got a pretty solid little investment there. But for the most part too, even though I don't like to short SUI, we shorted SEI, for example, 100% there in 24 hours. A couple of older Solana shorts, 57 and 54%, all targets achieved there. Then, of course, the Bitcoin shorted about 40%. That was a little lower than the others, just based on the simple fact that we secured profits a little early, just to be on the safe side, but the price just went fast to the downside. As you probably saw yesterday, your spot bags probably got just absolutely obliterated. But good news is spot bags will recover where liquidation doesn't. So I'm glad that you didn't take any high risk trades leading into that. And also, congrats to those who took more shorts than longs after watching my analysis on Saturday. You're welcome, and thank you for being an awesome part of my life. Glad that you took heed and listened. Again, it's never a guarantee, but the odds of Bitcoin going down on Saturday looked really high, and it's really nice that we kind of all got on board with not trying to long the top like a lot of other people did because we have one good Fed meeting, right? Come on, whatever. Anyways, conversation for another day. SUI, what are we looking at here? Well, there's a lot of liquidation at 430 to 450. I'm kind of paraphrasing there, more like 420 to 460, but there's a pretty solid amount there at that range. Okay. Now again, that's more local. That's just this here. If you look at the macro, tons of shorts in 520 to 580, but we'll deal with one thing at a time. More immediately, 430 could be the next target. I'm not proposing we're going to see that right away, but depending on how we hold this range will determine a lot. And obviously, depending on how Bitcoin performs too. Just to be completely candid with you, I feel very bearish on Bitcoin right now. As far as resistance is concerned at the 99 to 102K range. I sent out a trade alert with my community so you kind of understand my thoughts there. So obviously make sure you check that out. But generally speaking, I think better case scenario, we retest 100,000 or 102 and pull back. I think it's less likely for us to see this alternative option. Okay. So just be mindful. I'm considering a short in that range, and if that were to take place and just say the price were to pull back after rejecting there or just continue down right now, everything you see here right now will go down for SUI. While it responded very well and very strong, it's still just not a good market to take longs right now. Okay, so if you're in profit, don't be a greedy, crazy person that wants to take this to $5 on a high leverage position. Adjust your stop loss higher, take your profit when you can. We never truly know how long that's going to be sustainable. Now, this coin is still pretty strong, as you can tell. It's responding pretty well, better than most coins, but that still doesn't mean much at all. Okay, please recognize that. Okay, so daily time frame. You know what? Hold on. Let's look at the liquidation delta first. It has since shifted to equilibrium, which is awesome. It means we have more longs than shorts in this coin. That's generally a very favorable sign. Usually when you see that occur, that tells us there's been a significant shift in momentum. So I'm willing to guess that our MACD is probably converging, our stochastics are swinging up. There's some good indications that along with this coin may be actually advantageous. Again, whenever I talk generally about best practice, folks, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to just sit on the sidelines and wait, but it does mean you want to be responsible with your trades if you take them. Okay, so please, if you're going to take a long with leverage, keep it low leverage so you can sustain some flexibility there, and make sure that your dollar amount that you're using per trade isn't outrageous either. Because if history isn't going to repeat itself, look what happens. Anybody with 1x leverage, no less than 1x leverage got destroyed yesterday. Okay, come on, it's just not worthwhile. All right, anyways, we can see a lot of open interest here at 325 to 315. So it does kind of reinforce that low $3 range as a support range for us. So if we do end up losing 350, 320 to 310 is probably that next area of support. We'll reaffirm that here in a moment. And just to clarify too, from a previous daily candlestick closure time sense here, or just kind of timestamp there. Back in November, we saw 320 as that close a couple days, seen a lot of wicks there. We still have yet to close below 320. So hypothetically, we see 320 again, maybe a good consideration for a long, or at the very least, adding to your spot bag, okay? So, okay, just some things there, some food for thought. Let's take a look at the daily time frame, see what's going on. We're below all moving averages, generally unfavorable, under 50 on the RSI. Money flow index is low, stochastic swinging down, MACD is diverging. There's not a single thing here telling us to take a long with confidence, okay? Again, you're never going to be in a position like that where the price breaks down by 20% in one day and it's instantly a buy signal. I don't care who is analyzing this chart. If they're saying that you should buy right now, they're saying that irresponsibly. Again, that's just, you got to recognize that, okay? Having said that, though, it doesn't mean that you couldn't still find some good opportunities in smaller time frames to take some profits in little movements here and there. But the general consensus is when you're this bearish on the daily, it makes no sense to buy, but this is when whales are buying too, right? They're pumping the price action up, along with a few other people too, of course, the ignorant ones. But for the most part, you shouldn't be taking a trade right now to the upside. This is basically breakout trading, and it's just generally considered as irresponsible and or unsuccessful, or less successful. The problem is people will have success with these little breakout trades, and they're going to think that it's like how trading works, and they're going to eventually get destroyed. So it all comes back. The market always wins. And future reference, I'm going to update our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here soon. Don't worry about the fib levels for the moment. I'll go ahead and get us an update. Anyways, take a look at the 4-hour time frame. We're still under 50 on the RSI, generally considered as a resistance range. Okay. Same thing with stochastic and money flow index increasing like this. MACD converging. This is the circumstance here where generally you can take a long and have some success. You just got to watch it close, okay? So I'm not proposing that you should take a long. I'm just saying that in general, if Bitcoin can maintain its range of 98 to 100,000, then I think SUI will continue to flourish. The problem is we don't know where Bitcoin is going to go next, and Bitcoin has been a complete ripsaw lately, and it's destroying a lot of people and their accounts, right? So just please understand that. Take a trade responsibly here at this point. But once more, 350, we close above 350 today. That would be a pretty solid sign because previously we've retested 350 multiple times and never truly closed below it. So even though we've closed below it on smaller time frames, we've never had a daily candlestick closure in that range or lower. Actually, correction, I think if we take a look at the daily, we have closed below that level, but it's been quite a while, right? It's been since early December. So anyways, just kind of getting it out there and letting you know that we're still under all moving averages here. We're under 50 on the RSI. We're not in a position where taking along is the responsible thing to do. That's all there is to it. So if you do end up taking along, keep in mind, on the hourly time frame, we're still not quite there yet. From a momentum standpoint, we're looking decent. We can see the lagging bands right there about to break out. Conversion lines above the baseline, we got good momentum. But again, we have not closed above the cloud. And you generally want to be above that because that's just a series of important moving averages. You want to be above that for at least 4 or 5 hours, okay? So hypothetically, 8 hours from now, whenever this video is uploaded, 8 hours from now, that puts us at maybe in the 5 or 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If we get a daily candlestick closure at 350 or higher, it may be worth taking along, okay? And again, we want to look at a lot of factors too, like Bitcoin dominance, for example. This has to keep coming down in order for us to be able to have success of taking longs with altcoins. Right now, longs with altcoins makes sense, but it also is not advantageous, or from a technical standpoint, it's not a trade that I can recommend to anybody, right? So again, use your own risk tolerance on that, but key takeaway here is it's going to be a high risk trade if you take a long, but it could also be a favorable one too. So that's kind of the market we're in right now, folks. If you don't have good risk tolerance or risk management, it's a tough one. So you really got to hunker down and make sure that you make some responsible calls that work best for you. Don't blame anything on anyone else. This is your responsibility at the end of the day, okay? So even though my traders have a higher success rate trading underneath me, if you use poor risk tolerance or you just 100x leverage on every trade, you're going to get absolutely demolished. No more than 5x leverage on altcoins, no more than 10x on Bitcoin. Simple as that. Those are my rules that I stick to, and that works well for me. Find what works best for you. Okay, that's what we got. All right, take a look here. Bitcoin, 99,000. Let's see what happens. Exciting times. I'll post a playout chart again on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here shortly. Looks a little something like this if you're not familiar. Feel free to check that out and go from there. We'll look forward to working with you. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.